Hi, I'm Liz Morris, and I'm here today with another member of the Women of ISMRM Ad Hoc Committee.
Hi, I'm Nicole Seiberlich. I am an associate professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering at Case Western Reserve University.
So, Nicole, how long have you been there? And you've had somewhat of a very fast rise, I would say, in your career. You just gave the NIBIB lecture this morning, and so we saw your impressive R01 grants and all of your impact factors and your H factor, and it's very impressive.
Oh, thank you.
So how does one achieve that, I think, and to have a life outside of work with 2 children?
4 children.
4 children?
4 children.
My goodness. Okay, 4 children.
Yes.
So that's very impressive.
Thank you.
So fill us in.
Okay.
What's the day-to-day on with your life?
We are very busy. So
yeah.
yes, I have a 17-year-old girl and a 13-year-old girl, so 2 teenagers,
Right.
and then a 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl. And so the teenagers have different needs. They require some attention sometimes, but for the most part, the focus on a day-to-day care basis is for the babies. And I think my husband and I managed to share the responsibilities pretty well. So.
Right.
I think whenever we have some big deadline or something that has to get done, we make sure that the other person has time to do what they need to do.
Right.
And that really alleviates a lot of stress in the house.
So I think, one of the recurring themes is definitely having a supportive
Absolutely.
home environment, partner who's got your back and who really will help you make those deadlines.
Yes.
And work late and allow that sort of last-minute effort that you might have. So what about at work? So at home, it sounds very busy.
Yes.
And how about at work?
Work is also busy. Yeah.
Right.
So to kind of fill you in on the details of how I got where I ended up. So I was doing my PhD at the University of Würzburg in Germany, and I met a postdoc there whose name was Mark Griswold, and so he was my informal mentor throughout my PhD, although he moved to Cleveland in the middle of my PhD time.
So are you German?
I'm not. I'm American.
You're American?
It's a long story.
How did you end up going over there?
I was a financial services consultant. So
Okay.
after my undergraduate degree, I got a job, and at first they put me in the New York office, and then they moved me to the Frankfurt office. And from there, I started looking for a PhD position.
Okay.
And I ended up in Würzburg, Germany.
Oh, that's fantastic. So in some ways, it's almost luck.
It was
You
completely
ended up
luck.
there.
And
Yeah.
I think the rest of the story is a lot of luck too. So I ended up with a great advisor. My actual PhD advisor was Peter Jakob, who was also very well known in parallel imaging. And when I finished my PhD in 2008, I was looking for a job, and Mark said, well, you're going to come to Cleveland, to Case Western, to be my postdoc. And so I moved to Cleveland right after my PhD, and I was a postdoc for 2 years in the Department of Radiology. And at that time, Jeff Dirk, who was the chair of biomedical engineering, he really pushed me to write a K99R00 grant from the NIBIB. And I was really lucky to get the grant, which helped facilitate this transition from a postdoc to junior faculty. So first I started as an instructor, and then I moved on to be an assistant professor in biomedical engineering in 2011. And so it was 3 years as a postdoc and an instructor, and then I was an assistant professor for 5 years, and in 2016 I transitioned to an associate professor with tenure.
That's great.
So it all
happens super fast.
It doesn't feel quite that fast to me. It was a smooth process.
Yeah, yeah. So so at work, it seems that for example, how did you handle the maternity leave and coming back and all of that sort of thing? Were there any bumps in the road?
I think it was actually pretty easy. It was fairly straightforward. I do teach undergraduates and graduates, and so for my classes we had to find replacements, but I was lucky that my due dates for both of my smaller children were in September, and so I just took off the fall semester. My department chair and the faculty in biomedical engineering were extremely supportive. Never once was there a problem with offloading some of my responsibilities to other members of the faculty. And I think that really helped to make everything much less stressful, because they just took over responsibilities that they didn't really have to.
So you've won mentoring awards, and you like to teach, and you've been a great role model. So any words of advice that you would have for women out there in ISMRM who would like to follow a same career trajectory?
I mean, I think the biggest piece of advice that I would have for anyone pursuing a degree or a career in research is just to keep at it. Research is really hard, and there will always be stumbling blocks. That's why it's research, because we don't know how to solve these problems. And whether it's the research that's challenging, or a paper that you're having a hard time getting accepted, or a grant or a fellowship application that wasn't accepted the first time, it's happened to all of us. We've all gotten rejection of some sort, and I think you just have to keep going. It's not something that you can't take it personally, and you just have to work through that. And it's difficult for everyone who's trying to follow this career path. And when an opportunity opens itself up, you've got to take it. No matter how scary it sounds, you got to go for it, because you never know where it'll land you once you've gone through with it.
That's a great piece of great pieces of advice, I think. And there's always this question, should I take the opportunity? Should I say yes, or should I say no? And I think saying yes is, like you say, opening doors, potential doors, and
exactly.
You don't know. And you said yes to coming to Case.
Yep.
And look what's happened there.
It's been great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So anything else?
I think that'd
be great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.